Hello. I'm going to go ahead and cover a few things today regarding the changes that are taking place and this last week. The first thing I want to do is extend a sincerest apology for being so late with getting back to so many of you. This last 2 weeks now, my kids started school, we had a wedding to attend, and there's a death in the family along with a lot of other things just happening, and it all literally just kind of accumulated to one weekend. And I'm now playing catch up. For this reason, we weren't able to get information to you. We weren't able to get notifications to you regarding meetings and when they took place. There was just a lot. I dropped the ball. I dropped a lot of them. And honestly, I have no idea how much I forgot or lost. And I am still finding emails from people and a lot of things just going on, and I'm going, oh, I forgot this too. So I'm currently in emergency mode where I'm cleaning up my mess and trying to get everything back and running smoothly. So I do want to extend an apology for that. Right now where we are, we have almost all the volunteers into position. We are still requiring a few volunteers. At this time, I need a temporary customer service department head. The one I have currently, Angela Dukes, is unavailable, and she should still be able to assist us without a problem for the cyber convention, but for now I need somebody head of that department to fill her shoes. And that person will mostly be delegating emails to the correct people. That's all that job position requires. The other volunteer position required is the genre manager head, where they are in charge again of delegating which goes where as far as topics go. If there's something that comes up, they'll know to contact which particular genre, and if a genre manager needs to bring something to my attention, instead of being bombarded with 20 different authors, I'm only being bombarded with one saying, okay, this is the report from all of these people. So we're looking for like a weekly or a bi-weekly status. Now, as far as how things are going to run, and this is the plan. We're going to have an assigned day twice a month, probably on the 1st and the 17th. On both of those days, everyone is to report to their department head with progress, with something happening, with any questions or concerns that are not mandatory. So we're going to have everything kind of in a triage setup. For those who don't know how triage works, a triage is a three-step process. It's a medical term used in hospitals, emergency departments, and more specifically in MASH units on the front lines during war. When you were brought a body, you had one of three categories. Either it was immediate attention, too late to save, wait till they die, or they can wait and they'll be alive. So that's pretty much what we're doing now. When you get questions in, it's going to be one of those three. Is this something that absolutely is an emergency and needs to be answered now? That goes right up the line, no questions asked. Is this something that can wait? Then you let it wait. And then is this something that is already kind of done and said, unless it's an emergency, that can wait as well. So pretty much, aside from the emergency that gets thrown up the line immediately, instead of everyone contacting everybody immediately all the time, we're going to, just until January, February, we're going to have only two reporting days every month, the 1st and the 17th. You are not expected to jump in and start scheduling and tackling posts and organizing until January. So while we open registration on October 1st, that does not necessarily mean you start working on October 1st. Recruiters should be working now or getting ready to start working. Honestly, the sooner you start working, the better on that. Marketing and advertising, absolutely mandatory as of January 1st, not literally on January 1st. I'll give you a week or two to get over your hangover. But we're looking at, by February 1st, you should absolutely be in full marketing mode. Again, that's the sooner the better, but it's not mandatory until 2017. Emails, as soon as October 1st opens and registration hits, you can expect to start seeing authors bringing in emails, asking questions. So if you are on customer service at all, you're going to see that right away. I'm going to have a meeting with you right away Customer service, I had one scheduled and that got postponed, and it got postponed again with the family emergencies happening in my life right now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and schedule a customer service meeting. It's not actually going to be a formal meeting. It's going to be like this, a video talk, and then I post it. And then I'm going to schedule a meeting with all of you. And that'll probably be a week or two in advance. I'm going to try and give everyone 2 weeks to prepare for meetings. But in most cases, it's probably going to be a 1 week notice. And as always, if you cannot attend the meetings, don't worry about it. I'm going to do what I can to post and get things going. Now, that being said, because I dropped the ball last week, I announced the day of about the meeting I was having with Marketing the SciCon and recruiters. The recruiters meeting turned out to be a disaster in the sense that people didn't show up because I didn't give them sufficient notice. Again, I'm sorry. We have another meeting scheduled this Saturday. I'm going to try and schedule meetings at times that are convenient to you. And if you can't make it because I'm catering to California and Japan, Israel, and Greece. So we are going to have to cover, in most cases, 2 meetings for different time zones. Same meeting, just different time zones. So if you cannot make it, don't worry about it. There will be another meeting, and if you have a very special schedule or time zone, Japan, you know who you are, let me know, and we will schedule a one-on-one to work with you. So what I'm going to do from now is just go over what was discussed. AF Stewart, Anita, was able to join me last minute for the tour. 2 other people had known about it and were planning on attending, and something came up, so it just didn't work out for them. So, but what Anita and I discussed, and this was just phenomenal. It actually stopped being a how to recruit, and it actually turned more into a let's discuss the horror genre. Anita writes horror, and I was just elected to write or to contribute and publish a horror novel or an anthology. So I don't write this genre. So I had a lot that I was going to her with, asking her about what the genre is, and we were exchanging some ideas. And the ideas we exchanged for the anthology I'm working on that has nothing to do with this actually led into some ideas for Brain to Books, and that's what I want to share with you. When we were done with the meeting, we had come up with this concept of, in April, maybe I should rewind a little bit here, the horror genre takes advantage of Halloween. So October is a big horror month. It is like the primary focus for horror writers. I didn't know this. This was purely fascinating for me. So there's a lot of horror writing activity going on from October 1st, sometimes September even, as soon as fall starts to hit, right on up until November 1st. And she was going over some of the things that they did and some of the things that happen with horror writers. It was very insightful. So then I was asking her about, well, how do you handle Christmas and Valentine's Day? And her reply to that was, well, we usually do a horror Christmas special. Gremlins, the movie Gremlins comes to mind. That's a perfect example of horror Christmas. She said we do a horror Valentine for February, Valentine's Day. And I loved it. I'm like, that's a really clever idea. What if we do horror in April and we'll call it the Blood Spring? The idea just exploded. We loved the idea. So, and this led into the blog tours we will be doing for Brain to Books. And that's the next topic I want to talk to you about. So I'm going to pause for a moment on that topic with Blood Spring, and now we're going to switch over to blog tours. I've had some issues with the concept of blog tour and blog hop from day one. It's the reason why a couple years ago I launched the Brain to Books summer blog tours, because I wanted to absolutely dissect blog tour and figure it out. I learned a lot. I've posted probably more than 4 dozen blog tours. It's crazy. And then I interviewed a few authors recently. I interviewed a few readers recently. What is a blog tour to you? When you hear it, what do you think? What do you expect? What do you get out of it? And afterwards, are you disappointed? The general consensus is this. Almost no one, not even authors, know what blog tours are. They've never heard of them. They have no clue what they are. And they get kind of an idea, they get into it, and they're horribly disappointed. In most cases, from all the readers, they said that they were very upset with them because it was a waste of time. They did not walk away with new books. They were promised prizes, or they were able to enter prizes. They didn't win, and all that ended up resulting is they got on some mailing list they didn't even want to be in anyway. So that got me to really step back from the concept of blog tour. Now, on the flip side of blog tour, as an author and a host, there's another problem. You can have one author releasing a book, and they will be one author appearing on 10 blogs. The problem that we run into is, and a single author has to come up with 10 items, 10 kind of materials. Those materials cannot be too long, another problem we ran into, because then you lose readership. You don't want a blog tour to take longer than an hour. This is online. You will lose the reader. In most cases, readers don't even finish the tours. That's something else I've learned. So I tried a different angle. We did what if we have 5 authors appearing on 5 tours? We've done every author submits a small bio on one blog. Another author submits another kind of like a short story or a book blurb on another blog. And then we did the one blog tour, one blog per author. We've done a lot of complications arose with this. Then we had bloggers who all wanted to do the author interview, who all wanted to do the book showcase. And then you had some blogs that if they didn't have material that readers were interested in, their blog got skipped. And then there's do you do a link path, or do you do I'm going to show you the tree and you can select whatever branch you want to attend to. And again, now blogs are getting messed up. So the concept of the blog tour really is not a great one, and there's always been a lot of complications, more so than benefits. So, and it's also a lot of work for a host to organize one. It is insane. And at the end of the day, readers aren't satisfied. So that got me thinking, stepping back from blog tour this year, and I went, is it really worth it? Now, there's a lot of advantages to a blog tour, but the concept that we are using is just not working. So this year, we're throwing out blog tour. We are still doing blog tours, but we are going to focus only on a genre. So there is going to be a horror blog tour. There's going to be a romance themed. So it can be stories, it can be books, it can be anecdotes, it can be dabbles, something I learned from Anita during our conversation. It can be a variation of anything, so long as it is genre based, which leads me to bringing what I discussed with Anita and with Spring Blood. The blog tour for horror this year is going to be entitled Spring Blood, and that is going to be a horror tour, just a horror tour. So people who are interested in just the horror can go through this blog tour. Now here's where I think we finally figured out a way to fix this problem. This is where authors can get a rounded education as to what the Cyber Convention offers. Along the horror tour, they will find the horror giveaways. They will find the horror book cover wars. They will find everything horror related along a single tour. Now, in addition to the tour, we're also going to have it set up on an index over at b2bscicon.com and on brainofbooks.com. But overall, they will now have the ability to walk through a tour and actually, instead of touring blogs or a genre, they will be touring the Scicon. So that is our goal, and it will be entitled The Spring Blood. So here's what I need from you. I'm wanting to do the same thing with romance, with fantasy, with science fiction, with mystery, thriller, and suspense. But I require a title like The Blood Spring for marketing purposes. So when Anita and other horror authors reach out to their group, or to their readership, they can say, join us for the Blood Spring in April. And that's the marketing campaign. That is our angle we're going to take with this. So I'm going to need an angle on each genre. Now here's the problem. I only write fantasy. I can come up with something for fantasy. Sci-fi, I don't touch it. Mystery, thriller, you're on your own. I wouldn't even begin to touch these. I'm going to need other authors to come in. Young adult, same thing. Poets, anthology. This is something else that we're getting into. This year, we are also going to be showcasing anthologies. We are going to be showcasing poetry now. And we are going to be showcasing short stories. Now this takes me to my other flip side of blog tours. We have the blog hop. Again, the blog hops I've seen in the past, to me they're the same thing. They're very, very similar to the point where now you're just cutting hairs. I've seen some blog hops where it's 10 facts about an author. Now go to this. And the purpose of a blog hop is to drive traffic from one blog to the next. The problem is, again, there's an information dump. You are putting too much, or authors are putting too much on a reader, and the reader loses interest. It's the same results with a blog tour and a blog hop. A lot of readers think they are the same thing. I spent several months thinking they were the same thing, and when I looked at it, I'm going, okay, so it's a variation of the same thing. At the end of the day, and this is where we're going to alter this again just a little bit, we are offering a blog hop this year. The blog hop is going to be very simply sorted by genre. Authors can submit their website into the hop, and you provide the link. You will be responsible for setting up a landing page, which should be on your homepage for the SciCon, so that as you go through the hop, it's check out these author websites in the horror genre, or check out these author websites in the science fiction genre. And readers can then just check out 5, 6, however blogs are submitted, and they can go through and just check it out, to literally go from from website to website, just to check out horror authors, just their websites. Now, as an author registering for your registering your blog on the hop, you'd want something very simple. A grab bag or a giveaway is recommended, highly recommended, so that when people open up your web page, the first thing they see is welcome, thank you for joining us, here's a grab bag. And then I'm wanting there to be, and I'm working with tech on this is great, pay attention, where you select a button, collect your grab bag, and immediately they are listed, their information, the the reader's information is provided to the author and on a list, so that when the cyber convention is done, the author will then receive a list of all the names provided and addresses, much like a giveaway on Goodreads, saying these are the people you need to mail your grab bag to. And the author can collect whatever they want and ship it off to those people, those locations. So we have it set up, well, we're working on it, this is one of the things I'm wanting to do, so that you can go through on your blog and say, I want to collect my grab bag here, or I want to collect it here. Grab bags we're not seeing in the last few conventions. A couple people put together some swag packs. But if you've ever been to a live convention of any kind, a business convention, a book convention, a Comic-Con convention, the forte of these events is a grab bag. And they are absolutely painfully absent from the cyber convention, so this is one of the things we're hoping to turn around this year. If you don't know what a grab bag is, we're talking bookmarks, pens, coffee mugs, flyers, samples of short stories, ebooks, coupons, t-shirts, literally just thrown into a bag, and anyone who visits your table or your booth at a convention, you literally hand them that bag, and they keep walking. And they walk away with all your information, with prizes, with games. So you're not sitting there at your table selling. Instead, you're right there with a bag, ready to hand to them. So that's something absolutely to consider. So that being said, completely lost my train of thought, but that's okay, I have my notes. So that's right with the blog tour and the blog hop. So those are a couple of the things that we're going to be changing around. And I'm not sure if my clarification with the blog hop and the grab bag made any sense just now, because I'm kind of wired. So I'll be going over that. Don't worry if it didn't make sense. So that's going to be set aside. Let me see here. We've made changes to the website. I changed the theme again. The theme I had was the visual I wanted, but it was not compatible with the WooCommerce plugin that I added. Translation: when you opened author registration, it looked like crap. I now found a theme and a plugin that are compatible, so I have the vision I want on the website, and when you go to author registration now, it doesn't look like crap. So it all looks nice now. I've been working this last week just on cleaning and tightening it up, correcting the grammar. Go ahead and have a look at it. I'm just going over here quickly to see what I've got going on the website. And we're basically trying to get that sleek, professional look. And we're putting up a few things to help you when you are marketing. You can say, you know what, just go to braindeadbooks.com and there's a start here. Click on start here. It'll market it for you. That is my goal, is to make this so simple. And this has always been our #1 goal, is to simplify the convention. It is huge and it keeps getting bigger. And It's if people can rough it, then they get into the swing of it. And my concern is we're losing too many people because they have to rough it. So we are looking to smooth it out. We are looking to simplify things. Which brings us to the next topic, the forms. I love Google, and I hate complication. The Google Forms are great, and there's a few problems with them. At this point, there are just too many. They are a separate entity, not on Brain2Books, and I'm getting to the point where I'm the owner of these forms, and I'm getting them confused. I can't imagine where you are. So one of the things that I am working on with our tech department is removing Google Forms and bringing everything over to Brain2Books and having our own internal forms. Now, unfortunately, we go live in 2 weeks. So this is number one priority right now, is getting these forms set up. The forms that I sent you to sample to see how they run, if they're smooth, if they have glitches in them. I got a lot of feedback from a few people. I got one email dedicated to, these are the grammar errors I found, thank you. I got another form dedicated to, okay, this is confusing, I'm not quite sure what's going on. A lot of comments were made that the information is redundant. So I'm going to share with you some of the concerns that I've gotten, some of the problems. That is a hang up on Google Forms, which is why we're trying to get them over to something else to simplify this. There is no save option. I've looked, I've argued, I've haggled with Google on this. There is no save option. And this is a lot of information we need. So if you get into the middle of this and you have to abandon it, or your computer crashes, you've lost everything. That is not okay. It's just not, we cannot afford to do that. In the past, we have done other kinds of forms where people submitted in, and I have a couple other options right now. At the end of the day, no matter which form I'm looking at, there is no save option. You cannot save the form mid filling it out and say, I just don't have another hour, I have to save it here and move on. We don't have that option. This could cause a lot of problems. So my other option is, well, what if we do a PDF form? Or what if we do a doc form, a Word form, where you can download it, fill it out as you need, and then send it in? Which, okay, as I'm saying it, I'm thinking maybe a PDF form will give me what I want. But now we have a standard issue PDF form. Now I need to figure out a way to enter that into a database. Those people who volunteered for WordPress data entry, this is where you come in. And they would just be taking that information fresh off that PDF form and uploading it into an Excel spreadsheet, which we can then share with our volunteers. So that's another option. The other concern that people were having was the redundancy. They were saying I had to re-enter the same information multiple times. Now here's the problem with that. This is really what it came down to, because that was something that was on my head constantly while building these forms. Your name, your email address, that should be stationary. That's okay. Now I got down to this one part where it said, for mass giveaway, enter your book. Now you enter your book. Now we get down to the second submission. Which other books would you like to donate? So now I have one author submitting 3 books for the mass giveaway. I get down to the next option, which is the book expo. Now, not all authors are going to want to expo the same books they're giving away. In addition to that, we have, Book Cover Wars, where only one submission is allowed. So if I have an author who has 3 books over here, and then I have another person coming over saying, okay, so here are my 3 books, now I want to enter a cover into a giveaway, or a book into a cover war, I want to use this. Well, let's say they go back to that form and they want to pull from one of those 3 books. They can't just say, I've already submitted this information, because then we'll be on the other side of it going, which book did you want to submit? So the easiest way for us was to just copy paste that link into it and say, this is the book I want to submit. That way we're not going through this 72 question form to figure out exactly which book they wanted. So there's a lot of, yes, it's redundant on your end, and it's going to cause a lot of simplification on our end. So right now it's almost like it's at an impasse, because if we make it easy for us, we've made it hard for them, and if we make it easy for them, we've made it hard for us. And right now it's which is easier overall? Is it easier for an author to just plug in the same link 4 or 5 times? Or is it easier, or is it harder for us to have to fish through a form while we are working on building it? Now, the other thing I want to point out is the goal of this form is for an author to submit it once and be done. An author can submit this form 30 minutes, and from the consensus, it looked like it was taking people 35 minutes to fill out the form. 35 minutes of their time, and they are done. Whereas the volunteers and everybody involved with the convention on the other side, it's not a 35-minute task. We are going to be working nonstop around the clock from now until April, trying to get this up and running. So that 35 minutes, that extra hour, is going to mean a lot more to us than it is to the authors registering. We're aware of the issue. We're trying to figure out a way where it's going to be simple for them and simple for volunteers, but for now we might have to keep it complicated for them. And we're aware that that's going to hurt us. We are trying to figure that out. So that's one of the things I did want to clarify. And again, this is where, I think I have. If we have it set up so that we ask for author information, I think that was pretty basic. And then we ask for book information. Can you see that? And then it's book name, book blurb, book cover. And then over here, let's try this way. And then over here, we have a checklist. Which events would you like to enter this book into? Check, 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 check. Done. I think that would work. So I'm going to go ahead, and then we can have 3 separate books. And technically then you can enter as many books as you want, so long as each book only gets a max of 3 events. That should work. That should work. That should simplify it for you and simplify it for us. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to play around with that today and see about getting that situated. Multiple boxes to check off. That's going to complicate then our registration and how that works out. But I'm wondering if we should just send out an invoice afterwards. You guys select it, knowing this is going to be $5 per event. I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah, this is where I'm just like, ugh. So, that being said, I think that's it for that. I know that we made changes to Brain to Books, b2bscicon.com. Let me just take a quick look here. Okay, so apparently I don't have the link anymore that says go to the SciCon. So I'll be adding that. That's really good to know. I did not know that that was missing. Alright, so I'll be adding that back to the menu. I did something and I deleted my menu on my, this is another thing where a lot just kind of went wrong. Last week I deleted the menu on brain2books.com and had to completely build it from scratch. So, yes, okay, so now I'm on b2bscicon.com. If you take a look at b2bscicon.com, we have the website finally where we want it. We have our Brain to Books Cyber Convention Book Expo. We have our About, Contact, Help, Start Here, Getting Around, and Book Showcase. And then underneath here we have 2017 events, and you have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different events that people can randomly select at anywhere. I will be adding the blog hop. Well, there's blog tours, and there should be links there as well. I'll probably put tours there. So it'll be genre tours, And then, yeah, I think that I'll just call it tours. And they can literally just tour the convention. I think that'll be really simple. Book Expo giveaways, there's contests, there's word wars, discussion panels, reader panels. So there's a lot, and this will allow us to link to pretty much anywhere. So they land on the site, they have who we are, and then 2017 events. And as an event is built, we can put that in. So we have a lot of workshops coming this time around. I have a list of volunteers over at brain2books.com. If you go to Brain to Books Cyber Convention, on the menu, there's volunteer, schedule, marketing, meetings, customer service, frequently asked questions. If you go down to volunteer, there is volunteer or view the 2017 volunteer list. If you open that up, we now have a PDF, and it provides you with a list of everybody volunteering. And I have a list, contact Angela, please. If you see contact Angela, please, beside your name that it's highlighted, Angela's trying to reach you for something. Email her as soon as possible at my email address and let her know you saw this notice next to your name on the volunteer list, because there is a good chance I will not remember why I needed to talk to you unless you say it was on the volunteer list. I do have 2 email addresses now open. Finally, we have Angela at brain2books.com and Angela at angelabchrysler.com. So the Gmail address, you can still use it. That's moot. But now when you provide my email information or your recruiting, you're going to see Angela B. Chrysler, or I'm sorry, Angela at brain2books.com. We are getting an info at brain2books.com. So there's going to be a few other options. I've had some people ask for their own email address at brain2books.com. No. The price for that is $60 per person. As much as I would love to, unless you are willing to pay $60 for yourself just to have that email address, no. I'm hoping in 5 years, 2 to 5 years, that's my 2 to 5 year business goal, is to get everybody set up with an email address if you're a volunteer. But that's going to be a massive no. What we will probably do is an info at Brain2Books. Let me see here. Info at Brain2Books. And that is going to be going to customer service, Angela Dukes, and she will be taking the email out of there and then distributing it to the assigned customer service individual. Customer service will only be answering emails, answering questions, etc. So I think I'm pretty much done here. I'm at my limit of 30 minutes. So I think I have covered everything. I did want to go over meetings very quickly. And just a reminder, if you go to brain2books.com, Brain2Books Cyber Convention, there is a link saying meetings. Click on it. It opens it up. And it gives you a list of when the next meeting is, where it is. I am currently using Google Events to post and host meetings. And so far that's working out very well. Very, very well, actually. I'm very happy with how Google Events is running with this. I cannot record off of it, but this is basically how this works. I hit Brain2Books Cyber Convention Book Expo. Here is the event, how to sell the SciCon, meeting the marketing needs of recruiters. I have this set up so that it is a Google Hangouts. And then I have an invite or send out invite. I sent out 56 invites to everybody who was on in the volunteer list. Everyone should have gotten an invite to this. 44 people have not responded. 8 people have responded. 2 are a maybe. 1 is a not going. I can message you all. I can invite more. And this is the beautiful thing. When we start, we will go into this event and there will be a join hangout button at the top. All you have to do is select join and it will immediately bring you into the webcam call. That is it. It won't be recorded. That is something else I'm working on with YouTube Live and Google Hangouts, going over to YouTube Live. We cannot record calls, and I'm struggling with this because I just lost one of my major tools. But we're working on that, and that's one of the things we have tech on. If you know how to record conversations with YouTube Live with multiple feeds, let me know, please. That is, right now, unless we can figure that out, we won't have Joe live. We won't have any of the panel discussions. We lose the word wars. We lose our workshops. Actually, I think the workshops can still run because it's just a single person recording. But we are going to lose a good chunk of our events if we can't figure this out. So if you know how to do this, please let me know immediately. Be prepared to give me lessons. I have a broadcaster. I can hook the broadcaster up to YouTube Live. I can record. I just cannot. In fact, I should be using it now. I don't know why I'm not. I should be practicing it. But I cannot add people. I cannot add feeds to my broadcaster, which is a serious concern that I have right now. And if you want to know, my broadcaster is, I think it's XSplit. Pretty sure it's XSplit. See here. Yeah, it's XSplit broadcaster. So I do have a broadcaster. I just don't know how to use it. So by all means, if you have any idea how to do that, please let me know. I'm going to go ahead and close this down now. I'm going to apply the tasks that I composed and have an idea of. I will probably be doing another recording today or tomorrow because I have a few things to go over even more so. And I will be recording all week, focusing on a different topic. I want to go over customer service. I want to go over marketing the cyber convention. There's a lot of you who asked me for marketing materials. I have not yet gotten it to you. I have not forgotten. Like I said, just a lot has happened in this last few weeks. So thank you again so much for listening, and I'll be talking to you soon.